Ciara.
Hello.
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 Welcome to another episode of Word Up. We have these legends back with us.
You're going to say these lesbians.
Lesbians? Do we love that?
A new word. What's the word whenever you coin a new word?
A neologism.
A neologism right here, right
A lot
now.
of syllables.
A neologism.
With our Davids.
Our lesbians.
So we have Shan and Ciara, our lesbians. Our resident lesbians
Yes.
on the Word Up
We'll take it.
podcast.
We'll take it.
Yes, I fucking love it. What have you been up to?
What have we been up to?
Yeah.
What were we at? Last weekend we were at that. I joined choir, the queer choir, a couple of months ago. So they had their big gay fundraising
All
quiz.
Souls
Yes.
Church.
Yes, just behind it. Yeah.
yes.
When I first went up, you dropped me around, and I was like, "Am I walking into a church? I'm going to be burned alive." But no, luckily it's in the church hall.
In the church. No, but that whole church is very. They have. They would walk during Pride in
Yes.
Belfast.
Do they?
And they're
Hovering
very
pride
inclusive.
flags, yeah,
good.
yeah.
Very inclusive.
I love that.
Mhm.
And do you sing hymns or what do you sing?
Or hers.
Or thems.
Very good, Sean.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
Sean Camps.
No, we just sing all camp songs, really, like pop songs and all. Like what
I
we do.
am what I am, and what I am needs no
I
excuses.
will follow her.
H-O-T-T-O-T-O.
All we need to do is just add a little harmony and we have it. We actually this goes out on Saturday, so past tense. We were performing last night at the Outburst Festival. So yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Where are you performing?
At Paper Clips or Paper X Clips. I don't think I know.
Oh,
It's,
yes,
it's
in
Paper
that
Clips, isn't it?
stuff.
That's
That's
amazing.
our,
No,
old,
they've
our old
moved.
neighbours.
That's
Old
your old neighbours,
Amazing.
yeah.
If you've
Well,
never
I
been.
would love to go, but I'm going to be at Sean's gig.
But they've moved to North Street.
Have
I
they?
think North Street.
They moved. Well, that's good.
Well, they moved
Amazing.
paper clips.
Yeah, they're in the city now. They're in city centre.
Well done,
Clips
Paper
because it's an amazing way. It's an amazing queer space, but it
Mm-hmm.
also, if you are like we are, sort of fantasy geeks, there's a great books. Like
Yeah,
if you're a wee fantasy
sales
geek,
books.
go to Paper Clips.
And they make amazing like oat milk lattes.
They
Do
do.
they?
They
Do you know,
do.
I went up twice. I went twice whenever we were in thing and it wasn't open. And I was like, oh my God.
Withdrawals.
No, but I never actually got to go in, is what I'm saying.
I was a good guy.
I'm going to go. I am going to go. So well done, Paper Clips. I fucking love it.
Can I piggyback quickly? Just a quick shout out. It might be too late, but I'm not sure. Resident, also lesbian and drag king Gemma Hutton is doing
on Saturday.
Baby Mama
Friday
today.
and Saturday.
So last night and today, and it's part of the Outburst Festival as well. So it's Baby Mama, and it's just basically her
This is
looking
Saturday.
into her being.
I'm going to go. Where is it?
think that's
I'll give you the link.
Right.
Put the link.
Just-
And yeah, she is doing her one-woman show, Baby Mama, and it's like her musings on being a queer parent.
Awesome.
And it is amazing. And if you can go, because I do always say, and I maintain, she created a space and she created opportunities for queer performers when it is very much, and you know, this isn't a diss at anybody in particular, but can be very much a boys' club. Like that's going on. Everybody, you know.
That's why I fit in.
I'm not singling people out, and I'm not criticising anybody, but it is. You know,
You're
there's
right,
very much
you're
whereas Gemma very much created
Yeah.
spaces and paved the way for a lot of us to be able to come behind her, and we are standing on the shoulder pads of giantesses.
Not
So
for
yes.
Gemma, Will.
Yeah.
Not for
Break a
Gemma.
leg
But I
on
think just
Saturday.
kind of going off what you were saying about that it's all like we found that a lot of the queer like groups and
Yeah.
communities in Belfast are very male driven.
Yes.
Which is great. I'm so glad
Yeah,
that
100%.
there's, you know, at least something.
Yes.
But and just a shameless plug, we are working
Yes.
on
Yes.
what we're gonna call the Queer Women Collective.
I love it.
QWC. I had to think about that.
QWC.
Quick.
No, PwC.
Quick.
Me and you on the same wavelength.
Bing, bing. Me and you on the same wavelength.
Quick
Come
Belfast.
quick.
So, yes,
Belfast,
run.
yeah.
Don't walk,
Quick.
run.
Belfast. Quick. Belfast. Quick.
So yes, it's
come
strictly,
quick.
sorry
Come
David,
quick.
but it's strictly for lesbians, bisexual women, trans women, any
That's
other...
okay, as long as
Trans-
you're including
trans
the
men?
trans
Oh,
women
God, yeah.
and including
As long as you are sound, I suppose, is
Yeah.
yeah.
But just because I know that I think this is something that we really, really do need. TJ, one of my really, really good friends from Cabaret, who is also Carl Hart, drag king Carl Hart. He, beautiful trans lad, we love him very much. But he would go to Berlin, and they have and there's like an acronym, but I can't really remember. But there are spaces in Berlin. it's always Berlin, it's always
It's
Germany,
always
always,
Berlin.
always
Oh.
Germany.
The Germans.
The Germans. Like, I'm sorry for the war, but here's all these other things. I'm trying to make up for we've tried to make for being such dicks during the 40s. Sorry. But so they have like it's spaces specifically for queer women, trans women, and so trans men. So people who have at some point lived female presenting experience
Exactly.
within the queer, which you're always going to get the people saying, but what about me? And it's but you have stuff.
You're okay.
There
This
is
isn't for you.
plenty.
It's
Not
like the
everything's
good
for you.
biscuits. You go to the kids, listen, these aren't for you.
Yeah.
No.
You get all the other stuff.
Yeah, the rich teas are there for you.
Just
Or the
leave
Christmas
these
cupboard.
for mummy.
Yeah.
And like
You know.
again, just kind of saying like not dissing on any of these
Oh,
groups.
no.
Absolutely
I
not.
love that there is so much out there.
No.
But I think when we would ever go to these types of events, we were the token lesbians. Lesbians.
The lesbians.
And we just were like, do you know
You
what?
don't just get to be a lesbian, though. You got it. You
gotta earn
You're
it.
not automatic. You can't just come out.
No.
Exactly.
As a
As a
lesbian,
lesbian.
you have to get
You have
that
to earn a
status.
No, you
status.
earn your lesbian
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of the idea is that everyone will be like, if you have an event idea, great. There's people here, you know, and we're
Yeah.
all queer as fuck. And I'm allowed curse, am I?
Of course.
Thank God.
Jesus, this
That's
thing
the first time I've ever heard you say it.
But you know, like, it's not going to be just ours. Do you know, it's
No,
going to be
no, no.
for
It's a
for
collective.
exactly.
We'd like to pull together, like, you know, queer women within media. Like, you know, if there's photographers out there, or videographers,
Graphic designers.
to get shit done.
just a space where we could
Network.
maybe network exactly this, and just to bring all queer women together in a way, because it's, you know,
But it's nice
tough out here.
But
It
it's
is.
nice to live because women and there's women and then there's that subset where like even if you are in a room full of women, but they're maybe living in a heteronormative more sort of lifestyle. Again, we're not dissing it. You know what I mean? We love those women out there who are debasing themselves to be with men in order to create the human race.
I love
These are
this.
taking one for the team.
We really are.
Straight
We
people
really
do a
are.
very good, do a very important job in society. Straight people, they do. I just don't like seeing it in front of me. That's what- do you know
Keep
what I
that behind
mean?
closed doors.
Do you know what? So I went to say this actually to you down there. I was talking with Ciara at the weekend, and I don't know why this came up. So Curtis and I were talking about reproduction and whatever that we were watching.
Reproduction.
We were watching that thing,
Reproduction.
you know, the man with 1,000 kids.
Yes.
It isn't about my dad. I thought it was going to be.
Never asked me to be on it.
That's not I did.
We were watching it and it was all about, you know, people that were trying and people who had got eggs donated and then they chose this sperm, and we got on to the conversation of, because I had offered to give my eggs to somebody before and they were like, nah, you're all right. I was like, they didn't want the eggs. That's what it was. They wanted to try themselves.
They just didn't want
and that
your
was
eggs.
fine. They were a lovely family member
Yeah.
and they were like, I really appreciate it, but I really just want to have my own. And that's fine because egg isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
But that got me thinking, and I was like, who would I give my eggs to? But then I Googled it and realised that I'm too old now anyway, because I'm 37.
Not mad. Over the age of 32, it's a geriatric pregnancy.
But even
mad.
over the age of 35, your eggs aren't donatable unless it's a direct donation. There's somebody that you know that says, I want her eggs.
want her
and
eggs.
I don't see why it's a big problem anyway, because they filter through and make sure that the egg's healthy and everything.
That women
But I had
take
said,
women's genetics can take genetic. So a woman, so you know, men and women's bit gametes coming together. A man can have up to 15% genetic degradation in
Yes.
his sperm,
That a
and
woman-
a woman can fix that. But I think for straight women,
always fixing.
but I think for,
I can fix them.
Never
But
done.
I think you should keep that as a rule of thumb. That if he's over 15% fucked up,
Yeah,
you
you
can't,
can't
help
fix
him.
anything beyond
You
that.
can't fix him.
No.
So like, you know, anything beyond genetically, you cannot fix more than 15%, sweetheart. So
Yeah.
move along, swipe left or whatever that is.
So in
Keep
terms
moving.
of peccadillos,
Peccadillo.
which is our word of the week, a peccadillo is actually a relatively minor fault or sin,
Yeah.
right? So you can have a little peccadillo where you're
Done
like,
plenty of them.
you know the way,
Why?
like you can have your own. You'll go like, oh, that's one of my wee idiosyncrasies that I just do, or that's so like a wee minor thing.
A wee
You can go
vice.
like, what would you say Ciara's peccadillo is?
Oh God, I don't think I'm allowed to say it on a on a podcast.
Just minor.
Minor one.
Oh, here I'm on the spot.
But then that's subjective as
You're
well.
perfect. She can't even
I
think of one
know.
off the
I
top.
mean,
That's
ask me.
subjective. It's like some people.
She'll have a list.
Some of it was like farting in bed as a peccadillo, but then if you're Jeffrey Dahmer, it's like eating somebody's arm. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a
Exactly.
it's a sliding
Yeah.
scale of
Sliding
subjectivity.
scale.
Swings and roundabouts, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
yep.
What's Shan's peccadillo? I'll get her started.
Oh, she's
No, she has a list.
She did the list.
Do you have loads of tape running there? I would say that when Shannon's cleaning the house, say I left something, so she'll pick up her own cup, but because I left mine's still there when I come home from work.
It's the cups in the bedroom, and I sound like my own ma because she used to literally batter me around with a wooden spoon if I left one glass up there
I
in my
have
room
6 pint glasses on that nightstand
all
at
time. See, when I'm dressing, when I'm making the bed, and I not go for a fucking thing of water.
Well, that is enough. I do get that, but I don't know.
That's a minor fault on you. Then that's you.
That's your.
Yeah,
One of your.
yeah, yeah,
That's
Shan
She
won't lift
leaves.
my cup.
Yeah. But you just leave your cups everywhere.
What would that be? That's
You've
like a
done
kind of
yourself,
like your
baby cake.
your peccadillos kind of like match because
Yeah.
like yours is like
They're in
not
harmony.
lifting the cup, but yours is like leaving the cup.
Yeah. So I look like I'm on a wee part-time job with the pints or something.
Oh no.
Move.
A wee bar back coming in with all your.
That meme of what is it? Whenever somebody's coming downstairs with like a million cups, and it's like whenever you're, or you know, the bartender
complete
with like all the
bullshit.
glasses. It's like when your man tells you to clean.
Say you've
Coming out with a
say you've
chalice.
got a teenager without saying you've got a teenager coming down with all. The
I
cups and all
have
the
a
things.
28-year-old teenager.
Yeah, it's the ultimate shame. Like people, I would rather do.
That's very passive
straight
aggressive,
away.
though, isn't it? It's really like that there.
Yeah, no, and I will do it.
Do you know?
I will do it.
Socks.
And
Anything on the...
Curtis does this thing, right? And it is a peccadillo, but you know what? I don't say to him anymore.
No.
Right.
So apparently, whenever we started going out and I would get into bed, because I was always used to getting into my own bed, I have like, you know, the pillows like scatter cushions or
Yes.
whatever, or else the big pillows that you don't actually sleep
your wee
on
bolster
normally if
cushion.
you're actually
Throw
going to
them
sleep.
off.
So I would just sort of like climb into my side and leave his pillow there. And he'd be like, oh, you wouldn't take my pillow off for me? And I was like, sorry, I didn't think. But as a result of that, he would get into bed and literally, it might happen once, but he would get, like, on my behalf, but he gets into bed, takes his pillow off, throws all my scatter cushions, by the way, which fucking turns me because I set them nicely. But he'll get in and my bed's just my pillows
Untouched.
and I'm like, rude, but every time I get in to try and prove him wrong, I always take both the pillows off.
Oh my god.
Ever.
Yeah.
Nah, and always take them off and fold the thing back
night-
and make it all nice. Even light my wee electronic candles, which he hates. Never.
Nightly
Ever
the
moved my
nightly
pillow?
Cold War between Bronagh and Curtis. It's like he's getting into bed like this, like
He literally
trying not
does.
to, but-
sliding into
Folds
his feet,
himself
literally,
into it like an
disturbing
envelope.
your side, and you're going like this here, my love.
I do.
Jump you
But I
in,
literally
darling.
try and make it look so like I love just the ritual of getting into bed. You know, like, so I'll go up maybe 5 minutes there in on the ritual. Maybe 5-10 minutes before I'm due to go up to bed, I'll go up, pull the big pillows off, set them up, pull the sheets back, the wee candles, and then go down, because I like to walk into the room and go, it's waiting for me. And whenever he slides in, I go,
You've made no.
feel like lifting the pillow off and just putting it on.
But do you
Bit of
get to the
chloroform on
point
it.
where there's things you don't like? There's things that Alan does. Obviously, my husband Alan. There's things that we both do, but I don't say anything because I know for a fact there's probably 20 more things that I do that he's not saying
But
about.
that's why I am the way I am. I
Yeah.
don't. Kurt's a picker. Like, he'll go, and I go, why are you always moaning at me? And he goes, because I just like a wee bit. Like, you should just say things as you see them. You pocket things up, like I'll build them up. And then whenever I can be bothered with confrontation. Say I'm feeling extra cunty one day. Maybe
You've got like
2
a wee
years
folder
later.
on your phone and going,
How long?
I do. No, I do.
Oh.
I used to keep notes on it, and I'll let he says to me, but then you'll go like, you didn't
Receipt.
fucking like my
Show me the
lasagna
receipt.
on the 29th of November 2 years ago. And he's like, what has that got to do with it? But I'll go, see, for the avoid confrontation, and because I know I am myself am not perfect, I'll just go,
yes.
right? But then whenever somebody comes in and goes, why do you do that? What's that there? What next?
No, yes.
Yeah.
No.
You know?
Yes, because we bit like you don't understand how much hard work I'm putting in to not say shit, and you are pointing everything out. So okay, are we doing this? Is this what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Gloves off. Like.
Do you want to know how it feels? Right, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, but then don't, because then it turns into a massive argument.
You
and
can't
then I'm just
dish
like,
it. Don't
yeah.
Don't dish it.
No, we're so perfect.
Don't dish it if you don't like the taste, because but it's just there's things that like, and it'll only be like, I don't know. I'm trying to think like because Alan and I are married 10 years.
Oh,
We were married 10 years in September past.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Commiserations.
What date in September?
The 27th of September.
We're the second.
So it was
Hold on, what date's your birthdays, by the way? They're coming up.
Saturday.
Saturday. On the date that this comes out, 16th.
Today is our birthday.
Today, yeah. as your
Today,
It's
whenever
gonna
you
be the day.
that they come.
No, back
We're
to
gonna
you.
put it back to you.
Yes.
Happy birthday, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What age are we? Or telling?
21.
I was going to say, you look
And
21.
still a bum. I'm joking. I go to
No, 28.
28. Oh,
You
it's
knew
not too
Sim
late.
Mitchell?
That's brilliant.
It's because these are twins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
Sean was
David just like very appropriately walked in and said, "Oh, it's like a Weasley's family reunion." I cackled because it was fucking hilarious, but I also went, I sincerely hope that Ciara and Sean don't take offence.
We've got it all our lives. I presume, Ciara, as well, you've got it all your life too.
Yeah, I got it all. Yeah, Fanta head.
We'd never
Weasleys.
understand.
Yeah,
We'd never understand.
But
You don't know what it's
interestingly, it's evolved throughout the years, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
So
the
it
funny thing is,
started
now
off
that
with Ron
everybody wants to
Weasley.
have red hair.
Yes.
Red hair
Then
go
like
extinct.
when the sixth one came out or the seventh one came out, and was it George died?
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers!
It's been 20 years.
It's been 84 years.
And then everybody started saying George, and then as my hair got longer, it turned into Jenny.
Oh, did it?
She sounds like a wee Jenny Ann.
Wee
Did
Jen-
you
That's
ever
what I was
say that?
about
A wee
to
Jenny
say.
Ann.
Wee Jenny Ann.
Oh, maybe they were just being homophobic and not.
And you were like, shut up!
Yeah. Just because my locks are beautiful.
Just because I have auburn locks.
Yeah.
I won't be
What do
long
you
to
say?
tell him Dad Weasley.
But
I know, as you get older,
Yeah.
so like if there one day somebody's going to call you, like, I don't know, come up, what's the daddy's name?
Arthur.
Arthur.
Did you say Arthur?
Jinx.
No, Arthur. His name wasn't Jinx. It was Arthur.
No, but you know, can I just clear this up? See, whenever you said I didn't know you said what was the daddy's name from the Weasley. I thought you said, give me like a dad's name, no, like an old-fashioned dad's name, and I went, Arthur. So that was completely random.
But right.
But right.
Yeah.
The universe went,
You're always right.
Clock. Twice a day.
Twice a
Black.
day.
And we
Right,
were
twice a
talking
day.
about the Peccadillos. So
yes.
Peccadillos are supposed to be wee stupid things like that you could pick at, you know. But people, it can be subjective. So some people are like, so what if Trump has a few wee Peccadillos? He's not all bad. And then David was talking about a heated conversation wherein you can't really say he's not that bad because look at this stuff he does. Do you know what I mean? That's good. That's like, you know, people who try to balance out shit things to
Yes.
do with good things that they do.
Yeah.
And is there a parable or something about someone who like, or maybe it was an episode of CSI.
Very similar.
Yeah, but like this serial killer who thought that he could, like, for every killing that he done, he would keep a list because then he would put like something
Good deeds.
like, you know, that he had done. So he was like balancing the book.
Put them on in the truck or a box, chop them on up.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Balanced it.
Swings and round. Helped a granny cross the road, broke the granny's leg.
Never crossed the road again.
Helped her cross the road, but realised that was the end of like a chain.
She was
Do you know what I mean?
crossing the road and I didn't brake.
She was helped her going across the road, but she didn't want to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, crossed the road right into the back of my van.
I wasn't even braking marks after.
on the bonnet of the car, hanging onto the windscreen wipers.
Have you ever done that incident? Like,
Knocked a
on
granny
a-
over. On,
All the time.
Twice
you
on the
hung
way
on
here.
to the front of a car.
so
Oh,
I'm
or a boot.
This is why I don't drink anymore. Because do you ever see one of your drunken things seem like really good ideas?
So
fun,
Like,
so much
so
fun.
rational. Rational
100%.
behaviour. A friend of mine was fighting with her boyfriend and he got pissed off and he got into the car to drive away and I just jumped on the bonnet and hung on.
Get ye back here.
You'll not fucking leave without giving her a kiss goodbye.
Took a corner and you're like, ah.
Oh yeah, and it did
you
happen.
wing
Sort of
off
like that.
the
Yeah,
car?
I ended up like winging off and being like, "He's a fucking dickhead."
How dare he?
Standing up like this here, like your face all scuffed. Fucking bastard.
Put the window wipers on and squirt it.
Yeah, and not let him back.
And then
And
you were in
then
the bonnet.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, we were talking about like politics and how it annoys me whenever people say, "Oh, I don't get into politics. I don't vote. I don't do this," and I'm like, "Then fuck up." But
Because
see,
obviously then the system works for you. There's no need to change a system that works for you.
But it's always the people who don't vote that have the most to complain about.
complaints.
Afterwards,
Yeah.
they always go, these plot, and you go, but where were you?
Did you vote?
Did you vote? Did you go out?
No.
Because like I feel like all of these different, I feel like we don't have much of a choice at the moment. If you think about like, yes, Trump was a bad choice, but so was Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was
Yeah.
parachuted in at the 11th hour.
It's like the difference between shit and shite.
And then,
I love that.
It's the same.
it's just a wee E. Do you know what I mean? And then you get maybe take away E and then it'll make it better. But like over a Keir Starmer, it's like Keir Starmer didn't win. Rishi Sunak lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, Keir Starmer was shoveled in there, and whenever you look at it, like he's a Tory wrapped up in Labour clothing.
He is.
I mean, he's a sir, and it's like that was the only way that the British people were like, "Oh, Labour will be palatable because at least he's
He's a wee
like,
bit part of the organisation, the establishment.
He would be sort of high. A lot of middle class English people view themselves
And
You know what I
justify
mean? Like,
champagne
we'll have a
socialists.
bit of yes, absolutely.
100%.
So it's like a way, and at the end of the day, it's all two ice creams with the same flavour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And down south, but like
But
these
you
are.
should still vote.
But
No,
the-
100%.
But
Even
down south
for
is the
your
same.
vote.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think about, the things that are on offer, the people who are on offer
Yeah.
in the Republic, it's all
Shit and shite.
like are Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil
They're the same.
any different? Are they different parties?
No,
Yeah.
they're the exact same.
Finna feel.
Is right.
You know.
And they've been, and to think that they've been like, more or less in power in some kind of like thing for 100
But
years.
then our other, our other option is Sinn Féin. So you're like,
Or an independent.
Or an
Do
independent.
you know, like, and
yeah, absolutely.
How does that make an impact on the Dáil because they don't have the collective seats to
Do
have
I
all
think
their...
Sinn Féin should get a chance to run and see how they do because these guys have been in power? Yeah, absolutely. But you'd want to make serious changes.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, or
and like,
I just think the lesbians need to take over.
100%.
That's why the
Yeah.
L is at the front of LGBTQ.
Absolutely.
The lesbians should be in... I always say, if this place went on fire and we were just
Yeah,
gay
I'd get
men,
you out.
you'd all die. But if it was lesbians, we'll survive.
Especially us.
Especially
Oh,
you.
Who did choose that?
Lesbians?
No, like the L being first.
Well, at our uni, it used to be called GLBT.
Oh.
It was
Glimped.
GLBT.
It came from back during the AIDS pandemic that they said that a lot of the gay nurses was donating blood because straight men didn't want to give blood to help a gay man. And then back at this time as well. Yeah, and then so it was a
in
lot of
case
the
they
nurses.
caught it by donating blood. There was no research though.
What, like mysticism, like a vampire, like
They
you
would've
serve
thought
your
if you
blood so nice.
touched,
Yeah.
do you know
It
that
was
you could get it?
like that picture of Princess Diana
Yes.
holding that man's hand in bed was groundbreaking.
Yeah, it really was.
Because people thought that you could catch it. The thing,
was
and I thought it
airborne.
was a
Yeah.
gay disease. I
I'm
thought
going
only
to say
gay people
something
could
here,
get
right?
it.
And I don't know whether or not it's going to be, but there was this joke, right,
Love it already.
about all the doctors are standing on a ward looking in through a wee window at this man, and the nurse comes up and she goes, "What's the problem?" And it goes, "There's a man in there and he has AIDS." "Oh, no, don't go in, don't go in, don't go in." And she goes, "Okay, how long's he been in there?" 3 days. "What's he been eating?" We've just been giving him pancakes. And it's like, why? Why pancakes? And it's like, it's the only thing that'll slide under the door. Do you know what I mean? And
But that
was the
if that could
mindset.
have got away in the 80s, because
I was talking to a dentist who told me that he worked. And I was trying to get a conversation out of a dentist, like fucking pulling teeth.
And they always ask you whenever they've got all the things. Are you going on your holidays?
It's on hairdressers like.
Oh, Lanzarote, that sounds great. I can't understand you.
Hear over the fucking. They're standing with that hairdryer, and they can still hear you. It's mad. But yes, I was talking to a guy who was a dentist, and he said that he was, a dentist during the 80s whenever the HIV pandemic hit, and there wasn't much known about it. And one of his patients came in, and before he was about to begin operating on him, the patient said, "I'm just letting you know I'm HIV positive. I have to let you know before you do it." And now, like, they would just be like, "Right, okay,"
That's
and
fine.
they would
Thanks for
know
letting me
what
know.
to do.
Go
Thanks for
ahead.
letting me know.
Is that still, I don't know, is that still the
I
case? Do
don't
people
think
still
so.
have to, or do you just have that on your
It could be
card?
on your
Yeah,
That's
it would
what
be,
helps.
but you wouldn't even have to say now, because we always operate under the assumption that somebody might have a bloodborne disease.
Yeah.
So they have to be, especially for the person that's being operated on, because you don't want anybody else's
Because
germs
HIV,
in your mouth.
Absolutely,
HIV
yeah.
isn't even like, obviously HIV isn't ideal, but HIV isn't even the worst thing that you can get anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No,
it's
with
kind of
PrEP
like,
and
and
all
it's
that.
PrEP.
The
But,
dentist said that whenever he was told that, they had to, at the time, I think their SOP was, because they didn't have any proper way to deal with it, they were like, hands off, step back. And he said he carried like a lot of guilt about this, but he was like, "I'm really sorry," but and he was like, we're going to need to go out into the waiting room, and can you just get ready and like not that he was, what did he do, take his fucking clothes off, but like, can you put the coat on and stuff and just go, because we don't know how to deal with this, like. And he was like, what the fuck? We were all standing out in the waiting room like it was a bomb scare, waiting for him to go.
The whole,
I was just like,
at,
that is
at
awful.
the time, I remember the AIDS advert, and it was a huge, massive the word AIDS in a huge, massive gravestone that like fell.
Yes, I
down like
remember
this
that.
way. And then in France, in the late 90s, early 2000s, they had like a safe sex campaign, and it was like this person like laying in bed, and there's like a huge big scorpion. And they're like, you don't know who you're having sex with. And it's the stigmatization of people who are HIV positive, because like now we know with PrEP, with the PEP and the but even like the retroviral drugs that they take, the cocktail of drugs that people take, if you're undetectable, you're untransmissible.
Yes.
So like, hopefully within a generation or two that we can sort of get rid of HIV
100%.
and
Isn't
people
that
don't.
fucking fantastic?
But until that point, we have to also make sure that we're not demonizing people who are living with
Exactly.
HIV, because we
Well,
all
yeah.
have a status. We all have an HIV status.
Yeah.
And it's whether you're HIV negative, HIV positive, and you don't know. It's just like people's life expectations. People live a full life with it, and you can't get it by taking a drink out of somebody's glass,
Like,
or
it
giving somebody a
wouldn't-
hug, or
no.
I actually think that I have shared a drink with someone who, like, it just
But
isn't
we are
a
all.
big.
But we're also. I also think. I was sort of like say really quickly that like we are fortunate to live in a time when we live with that information, because that dentist probably feels a lot of guilt, but he could only work off the information. Like, remember, go back to COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't know.
Corvus.
Go back to Corbett's.
Corbett's.
Corbett's 19.
Jeremy Corbett's.
Jeremy Corbett's.
Yeah, I know the
It's
AIDS
awful.
talk is all very dire, but it's not anymore.
It's really not. And
It
it
doesn't
shouldn't
need to be.
No.
And I understand that, like, if one were to find out that you're HIV positive, it would be a huge shock, and that those feelings are valid, because you're like, my life's going to change. It's like, yeah, maybe a wee bit, but don't worry. Go and get tested. Go and talk to a doctor.
Yeah.
Go talk to, like, things. There are, even if you, I know I think I'm talking about, like, we're going on HIV outreach sort of thing, but go to like Rainbow Project, Car Friends.
But it
There's all
could be
these different
worse, because there's
things.
people walking about out there that are incurable cunts. Do you know what I
you
mean?
cannot cure that.
Like, and you're just like,
Absolutely.
And what happens
There
with
is no
those
cure for
people?
being a
there's
cunt.
no cure for
What
being
happens with those
absolute
people is they
horrible.
get a job in politics,
Most of the time.
and then ruin everybody else's life.
Absolutely.
I still haven't got an answer as to why the L is first in LGBT.
Oh, but I think
Phone me, Ma.
so I phoned a lesbian.
I've phoned me HIV.
I fit my HIV lesbian.
Because I feel it's like a marketing ploy. You know what I
really
mean?
was.
Like, bisexuals really got fucked over in that. You know what I mean?
No, well, they're in the middle, so I think they're right where they need to be.
LGB.
LGB.
Why is it not in alphabetical order?
Fair. So B's are first.
BGLT.
That's very selfish.
Because that sounds too much like a
BGLT.
sandwich.
BLT.
Sounds like a
Show me how to
sandwich.
be
Yeah.
BLT.
Imagine you just had a
BG.
BLT crowd.
BGLT.
Oh,
That's what yours is going to be.
is that not Britain's Got Talent though?
No,
it's
BLT,
BG.
bacon, lettuce, and tomato. By lesbian trans.
Yeah, there we go. We
BLT.
have the BLTs.
Just be a big juicy sandwich.
Well,
we're gonna have to
you just need to
rebrand.
make a logo that's like a big sub, you know, and then but like the filling is all the different flags.
Right.
An open like a big open sandwich
A big,
with all your
Oh,
crock
back to the
lachey.
drawing
with
board.
your lettuce hanging out.
Yeah, lettuce buggy.
Let us have a look.
Lettuce have a wee look. Yeah. But you know, so there was actually a thing about Peccadillos. I don't think they called it that because they aren't word up. But on a radio show, it was like, what really gives you the ick? That's what it was.
Yes.
And somebody said this on the radio, and ever since then, I've really noticed it, right? You know,
Right.
whenever you can't, like, unhear something. Like,
Yeah.
and it was, this girl on the radio said that hers is when people get up first thing and they do that real morning.
Oh, no.
And it's the way they say good morning.
New
and it was like,
April look.
Yeah.
or it's like, yeah.
It's lucky we don't speak to each other till lunchtime.
Did you ever have a friend? I had a friend, and she used to do this thing when you go around to her house, right? And she would go, "Oh, I'm not feeling well.
Every time.
Oh, well, it got to be like that.
Right.
Oh, I'm not feeling well." And she was sitting up on the settee with her wee blanket. And, oh, I'm
And
not
then they
feeling
wonder
well.
why nobody comes
And then we're
along.
chatting, and she kind of forgets, and she starts talking normally, and the phone rings, and she went, "I have to get that." Hi, I'm in the house here, and you're like, you can get
They're
tea
like
fuck.
addicted to pessimism, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Addicted to sympathy.
Oh,
I have a little bit of an ick and I shouldn't have it because, but I have an ick when people hit the pedestrian crossing lights.
What do you mean?
Like say there, and there's one road in particular about you can get across. There's not many people on it, and you come up and the light turns round and a fully grown man walks across the road. Just cross the road and there's no car from.
But
No, it's worse. You know, if you've hit it already, and then somebody comes up and looks at it and goes,
was
like,
my hit not good enough?
and then hits it again.
it's the same with an ATM. If somebody tells you it's not working, no, like you see someone
You
walking
have
away
to
and going, "There's no cash left," and that you go, "Thanks."
Just in case.
You probably just have no money.
Or a lift.
Yeah.
Oh,
Press
yeah.
some of the-
Where are you going to? Number 2? Yeah. And then
Or
you go.
walking past somebody on ATM or behind them and going, leave some for me.
Leave some for me.
Ah, Jesus. Yeah.
Fuck off away from me here. Get away.
Do you know what I notice you do up here that we don't do out down home?
Uh-huh.
I can't believe you get the ick whenever people actually just
It
use
just
use
bugs
a crossing.
me. Aye, but like when
Not at a busy crossing.
Not
but
at
if it was a
busy
busy
Fair
crossing,
enough.
you're more than welcome to touch the button.
Thanks.
Thank God.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for letting us avoid
Mine's
getting
the
knocked
opposite.
over.
That wee
People who
hedgehog in the
don't use the
advert would hate
crossing
you.
when there's one right there.
Wee hedgehog.
Yeah.
Oh, the wee
It's different.
hedgehog.
And it's always we old people.
Yeah, they'll
Why do
cross
they?
in the
They're
middle of
like they
traffic.
still. They're you're like you're 90. You're 90, Anne. Stop thinking you can run across that road.
Like people, like people who or people on like walking sticks,
Aye, and aids
and you
and
go like on aids.
What's a crack?
The people trying to cross
Right,
the
that's
road.
it.
That's our lot for this week.
Thanks, man.
You're a dick. Why did Freddie Mercury cross the road? Because he fucking wanted to.
Leave him alone.
I know.
You
Why
want
does
the
Michael Jackson not dance anymore?
Why?
Because he's dead.
My girl fell off the swing
I'll let.
Don't know.
because she had no arms. Why'd she not get back up on the swing again? She had no legs in.
I haven't a leg to stand on there. There was a wee man called Jimmy. He had no legs and he used to be at the bus stop every day. The bus driver would stop and go, "All right, Jimmy, how you getting on?" That was my literal dad's joke.
Dad joke. I love dad jokes.
Do you know what you call a prostitute with no arms and no legs? Cash and carry.
Do you know what you call a Slovenian pimp?
Don't know.
Slobber down my cocky bitch.
Do you know what you call a Yugoslavian pimp?
What?
On your backy bitch.
On your back. On your backs.
On your back.
On your
On your
back.
backs.
Yes, on your back.
Famous on your backs
Yeah.
legend in
Who's that?
Belfast drag queen. She also does cabaret. She also does
Yes,
cabaret couple
yes.
club.
On your back.
I have 2 icks, and I feel like they kind of are a Venn diagram of a certain demographic of man. Because that's. Can we just be honest that most icks come from men? And I'm saying that as a man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sliders and white socks.
Oh,
Umbrellas.
get me.
Umbrellas.
She has a serious
You're
ick
like
against umbrellas.
Millie Bobby Brown. She had that man with umbrellas. Millie Bobby Brown, which annoyed me with her because she
Have you ever seen
was
Millie
standing
Bobby
there
Brown?
with crap hair extensions. And I was like, there, fuck you, Millie Bobby Brown. Stranger Things on your fucking head.
Why men with umbrellas? Why? What's the big?
No, even me with an umbrella.
I love an umbrella.
Oh, anyone with
Just
an umbrella.
umbrellas.
Or
I
you're
love-
so
I love-
Irish. You're like, can you not? You're neither sugar nor salt. You'll not melt.
You'll not melt.
Literally.
I love the sensory thing of a big
Yeah.
golf umbrella
And it
here and the
going
rain
down.
on top of it.
Yes.
And it just falling down around you. You're so main character, like.
so main character.
Yeah.
I love
so
it.
yes, so sliders with white socks, sliders in general. There's no need for them to be on your feet
I
inside your
love a
house.
slider.
No.
Oh no, I do always be going down the
not.
shop with me sliders.
Crocodile. How do you walk? Are you slapping your feet off
yeah,
the
you
ground?
just
She's a Northsider, Dublin.
Well, even
all I had.
I
somebody,
was born with a pair of sliders on me.
I don't know if I'm channeling this because I'm wearing the big flat hoops and the Adidas top today.
sliders on the gliders.
Sometimes whenever you see a fella with sliders or even a girl, like a girl, with like sliders. I was thinking boots.
Yeah.
But like, sliders and this, there's a part of me that's kind of like,
Oh, you like that?
Giddy.
You like that? I do. I
because they're
appreciate.
usually like,
Fetch me sliders from the
they could usually,
knock you about.
they'd knock somebody out.
Knock you about.
Yeah.
But sliders and they or a grown man on the pavement whose mode of transport is a motorised push scooter.
Oh.
Oh, right, them people. No,
Electric
you only get
scooters,
their
right?
Ponce. Usually you get them in London.
Sometimes you'll get, but no,
see the way
in
they're
around
standing.
in around the Sandy Row area, you might see a guy with a slider on a motorised scooter.
Really?
that's
Just
it.
the one slider.
That's the,
He's just got
and
one
that's
big
the
foot.
only. Just like that wee character morphle.
Oh, we gotta go. One's
But
in
that's
Narnia.
probably the only
Monopods.
vehicle that he's allowed
Yes.
to legally.
He's
have.
allowed illegally. That's right. And he's like he's got drugs to deal.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I get.
He's got a business to run.
Yeah,
He can
very
People
write
to see and drugs to deal.
people to see ish because his vision's quite blurred after all the sort of like substance abuse over the
Yeah,
years.
hanging
But you know what I mean?
clean.
No teeth. I would say yes. Never trust a man with more balls than teeth. That's what
Oh.
I always say. Never.
I think that goes for anyone. Male, female, non-binary.
Never trust a woman with more tits
know.
than teeth.
I don't know about that because that woman might have had her teeth punched out for being too honest. Do you know what I mean?
She might have been.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Maybe.
fair point.
But
Yeah.
also, I think.
But then again, no, my thing
How
is,
long do you go
this is
without
going to
fixing
sound
your
right.
teeth?
I'm about
I'm
to
just
say
saying.
something extremely controversial.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
You're in the place for it.
But it wasn't me who actually thought it up.
No, you can't.
No
taxi
disclaimers.
backsies,
No
no
disclaimers.
No disclaimers.
But, right, okay, but I agreed with that
Pre-taxi
statement.
backseat.
Yeah.
And it was this guy on like Instagram and he said,
What's your taxi backseat policy?
never trust it.
Sorry.
What is that?
What's your taxi backseat policy?
Taxi backseat. If it's the north of Ireland, I'll take it back all day long. If it's a statement, it can't happen. Right?
I remember there was a place that was like no quibbles on their thing. We will take it back, no quibbles. And it's a bit like you go in to bring it back and they go, but and you go, Was that a quibble? Was that a quibble? Were you pre-quibbling?
But what if you're trying to take something called a quibble back?
No quibbles.
Like something in Harry Potter?
That's the quibble paradox.
Yeah, the quibble.
That would be the quibble.
Yeah, the quibble. Yeah, so never trust a woman who doesn't have her kids in her car. Now,
Bronagh.
Yeah.
No,
I have personal.
no smoke without fire.
Yeah.
now this was a man that said this in terms of, is there any kind of no red flag, right? And that was his red flag. A woman who has kids that
They're
have been
not.
taken off her that aren't in her car. Now, I understand that some people have their children taken off them for different
For
reasons.
various reasons.
And sometimes those reasons aren't just. But all I'm saying is there
In
is
general.
cause to pause.
Yes, I
last
hear what you're
resort.
saying.
It's
Yeah,
a last.
it's
See,
a
especially
last
over here,
resort.
my friend Megan, she's American, right? Lives in Wisconsin, and
Oh,
she
yes.
had she studies. She's a social worker in America,
Oh.
and she did social work over here for a while. And she said, like, she just could not believe. She was like, "You guys are so liberal over here." I was like, "What do you mean?" And she went, "Because in America, if we have a complaint," and I was like, all right. And she was like, "We take
quibble?
the kids." We take the kids right away and then we investigate.
Yeah.
If there's nothing wrong, we'll give the kids
So it's
back.
guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
Yes. But over here,
It's
taking
They're
the
more
child
lenient.
out of the family setting is the nuclear option.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is the last possible go-to option.
Even if there's provable sexual abuse, like kids are not taken off their parents straight away. They're weaned off them like a drug.
Get away.
Because then the child if
Doesn't
you
have
go,
the trauma of being completely.
and also feeling guilty because children automatically, obviously, as a child, your job is to be extremely selfish and egocentric. But that's because for most of your life, that's the way it's been. Like you have a need, someone takes care of it.
Yeah.
Do you know, and that's the way it should be. But that flips over into assuming guilt for things that are not your fault. So that if you're taking off mommy or daddy or whoever, you think that's because you've done something bad, not that they've done something bad, because they have brainwashed you into thinking that what's happening is acceptable.
Yeah.
So you're weaned off your child. But my friend's a social worker in Glasgow. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
I don't know
Listen.
why they took the weans. Like, I was only sent them out to get me a clean needle.
Why'd you take my weans? Who's going to go do it in the shop for my figs now? Geez, shut that door, you're letting the smoke out.
Yes.
She was only holding it in her hand. She wasn't. She was only smoking it. She wasn't injecting it. For fuck's sake.
She
Leave
didn't
her
even
alone.
heal properly.
Yeah, look at her, Jolene, that child. But like she says, like in the UK and America and all the world's different social workers, we are the countries that are quickest to take kids out of a situation. You lose your kids, but then if you countries like France and stuff, like their social is awful. Like I mean, France is really bad for if you look at France, it's quite bad. Like
You know a lot about France.
Phoebe things on there, France,
He went
Spain.
there.
I was there once. I watched Hello
Done it-
when I was
done
young,
it
and I knew all about
Now
it.
you're a historian.
So I'm pretty
He's an
much got a
expert.
PhD in France. I watched 2 episodes of Hello. So
He's
I know
watched Emily
stuff.
in Paris.
Emily in Paris.
Oh, you're fluent.
Emily in Paris. Well, my French would be all right. I would be able to survive in France.
Would you?
Yeah,
Like, with
play.
no word in French.
not even.
Como estés?
That's Spanish.
I know, yeah.
Do you not know the
That's
Hail
so-
Mary in French?
What?
How do you not know the Hail
I
Mary?
know it in Irish.
Aye, but French and Spanish or whatever. What was your language in school?
Done German up to third year and then
Can you do the Hail Mary in German then?
No.
Did you have to learn
not-
prayers in other languages?
Aye, that's
Oh my
the only
God.
thing I'm
Common.
fluent in.
I went to a convent.
I
but
was
we
in
didn't have to
a
learn.
convent actually, Dominican. Oh, yeah. Convent fucking wait to get out of it. No, I actually really loved school. Yeah. Secondary school, not.
I liked
but
secondary school,
mine
didn't
was
like
a good
primary school.
You have a great system up here.
Yeah.
You have an amazing secondary
I
What's
think-
different about the South?
Well,
There's a lot of involvement with the church down
yeah,
and
on both
education.
sides. And you're kind of, they give you a choice, but you don't get that much of a choice. Like, you get to do media studies and health and social care for your A levels. We do Irish, English, maths, and then you get 4 extra subjects. So, but that has to be art, music, woodwork, metalwork, TDG.
Is that why you're a
TDG.
lesbian?
Technical graphics.
It's like,
Technical drawing graphics.
But like there goes to show, like you went to a mixed school. I went to an only girls' school. We only had art, music, and home ec. We didn't
really?
have woodwork, metalwork.
we never had that.
What's TD? What does that even mean?
It's
Technical
Technical
design.
design. Yeah. We never got that.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're all like we Cinderella's all.
Yeah.
All like,
Here's how you clean.
a woman's work is never done.
Yeah.
Like you know how to like sew like a sock with potato in it.
You would think.
Like I said,
You would think.
alternatively. But yeah, like boys need to know those things and girls need
And
to.
girls need to
That's
know-
why gender is a myth.
Yes.
It's made
People
up.
need
it's
to
a
do
construct.
shit.
Yeah.
People, you only had hurling.
Dishes.
You went
After-
to Mary's, though, didn't
You
you?
only had hurling after a night out.
Slan, look.
Slime yourself.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. But also, we're gonna do
Our-
this week's.
I think this
Swear
is
down.
it kind of fits in with our women's collective.
Yes, we're gonna do swear down.
We're down, motherfuckers. Because we want to.
So you can.
As a termagant?
Yes.
A termagant or termagant?
I thought termagant.
I think termagant because I see this word and things, but it's one of those words I've never heard anybody say.
Yeah.
Say it out loud,
Do you know
yeah.
what we'll do? Rather than make a faux pas, because autodidacts, people who teach themselves, do tend to mispronounce things, but I would never judge anybody for that because at least you fucking tried.
At least you tried.
Termagant.
Termagant. Because that G, the G and the A.
It sounds very
Termagant.
Termagant.
Like
The
so
next stop,
Termagant.
Termagant.
Okay,
George
you do the next
Please
stop.
mind the flap.
Thank you for watching Word Out. So you ready to do the next stop? The next stop.
The next stop is
Termagant.
Please alight here
Yeah,
for.
Termagant.
Shopping
Do you
district.
ever see the story where the wee woman's husband was the voice
Yes,
of the
stop
underground?
it.
Yeah,
you
and
try to
Voice
make
of
me
the
cry.
underground.
It was Cheryl
Dun, dun, disco dancing and the lights down low. So she was the.
You
She was.
phoned your mom.
I phoned. Sorry. So I love cooking. We flyer. No, we were. So this wee woman and her woman and her husband was the voice of the underground, and he died. Sorry, I keep saying voice of the underground.
See, but I'm still stuck on the fact that you
She's
said,
on the
I love
circle.
cooking with flyer.
I love
flyer.
Flyer.
Like the way she said flyer.
I love cooking. We flyer.
Making me a Gemini.
Not making me a Gemini. Hold on. What verse did I give you there just now?
I get the wrong date of birth.
I gave wrong date of birth. Can you believe it?
Wasp. Me.
Wasp. But so the wee
Me
man,
standing
the wee,
outside the beehive at 17, do you know what I mean? Rehearsing my date of birth a year earlier.
And because it's a behaviour, like, wasp!
but the woman's husband died, and they took, and then his voice was changed, and then she wrote a wee letter in saying, could she get some of the recordings? But what they did was they put his voice back on her local line, so she could just go in
that
and she
adorable?
could listen to her husband's voice.
Angel.
Whatever the line is that.
Baker
Angels.
Lou line.
Was it? Was it Angel Islington or was it?
No, that's
Just
overground, I think.
Angel.
Angel underground. I can't see it now.
Underground, overground, wombling free. We're the
too young.
wombles, are we? Remember the wombles?
Oh, right, the Wombles? All right, that's right.
Fuck up, you womble! I think it sounds like a pure insult.
That's a good swear down.
Your dad's a fucking womble.
Yeah. So a termagant is a harsh-tempered or overbearing woman.
So there is another word, isn't it, like virago, which is also
Viagra?
Viagra.
Virago.
A virago.
A virago, which is like a manly woman. So it's like, it always feels like women throughout history. You fucked if you can, and you fucked if you can't.
Yeah.
Do you know? So you're either like a wee. Oh, she's a wee meek woman, don't listen. Or she's a mouthy cunt. Do you know what I mean?
Can never do right.
Do you know?
This is something that really bugs me. It's like a bugbear with me because we need to be able to show that women can be really fucking strong, badass bitches and still be feminine if we want to be feminine.
Yeah,
if we are feminine, there's absolutely no need to masculinize ourselves. Like, look at Thatcher, for example, went to classes because nobody would take her seriously whenever her voice was too high pitched. Then I think she was a cunt, obviously. But she done overkill to prove that she had the right to be there. So
And the
she
rights
shifted
of women
for no one or
always,
nothing.
rights of women always, in the UK, if you look back, like, the rights of women always sort of took a nosedive when we've had a female political leader. Do you know, Thatcher, well, obviously Thatcher, 15 minutes it was Liz Truss.
Liz Truss, yes.
Yeah, did you
lasted long,
did you see
lasted
Lattice
longer.
Truss?
Lettuce,
Yeah, the lattice
Let
truss.
us pray.
Stay going.
Lattice pray.
Let us pray. But yes, you know, like, women, like, you know, because those are times when we start talking about, you know, women's spaces and like somebody always like there's like some sort of feminine person always takes the fucking brunt of it. But yeah, as you're saying, like she came in, she was overkill. But like, why can't a woman be? Like, what do these people go? What is a woman? And you're like, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What is a
Could be
woman?
anything.
Yeah.
That's where we kind of need. I think that's where the they them really comes in handy in terms of trying to even just not associate people with woman. Like, see, whenever people introduce you as a female comedian, and you're like,
Do you know?
No more
You're
female.
just a comedian.
I'll do
like.
it sometimes as a joke because
Aye.
9 times out of 10 you will be the only female comedian on.
Yeah, but
lineup.
you always make light of
Yeah.
that.
I like to draw attention to the fact was a bit like, you know,
We
Yeah.
actually
some-
have a woman.
or sometimes I'll say tonight's a bit of a sausage fest, folks.
Yes.
We don't have any women, or like, ooh, this person's going to be different because they're a woman. We're giving them lots of rights. They're allowed to say what they want. She's tried to be funny, Barbara. She's tried to be funny. She said womb. She's talking about it. And this is the thing. Like, so we did a gig on Monday at the Pavilion, which was really, really good gig. But I don't know if you noticed a thing that I noticed. And this is not a dig. Again, I want to preface things with this. It's not a dig at people. But, you know, they go, female comedians, all they'll talk about is periods and sanitary towels and pregnancy and wombs and fannies. Wombs. She said womb. And like, but those are like lived experiences.
Yeah, of course.
But then this guy will come on and they're
Talk about wanking.
wanking.
Shiting.
Jizzgate.
Jizzgate.
How many guys on Monday night had a joke that related to masturbating?
Every one of them, I think. Every one of them. Like, that's where I laughed because whenever I started out as well, I deliberately, do you know that I only talk about my kids in my stand-up now?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, my
You have to prove they're yours because
my
they won't get the money for them.
That's it. My number one rule was always, don't talk about your kids too easy. Do you know what I mean?
Fair.
Yeah.
So all my
But when
material...
your kids are funny bastards like yours.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes you gotta
honestly.
take the gold that's given
Do you
to
know
you.
what it was? It was actually my sister Lorraine says to me, Bronagh, just see whenever you're up here and you're on your rants about the kids, that's you at your fucking... Like, I can't myself, why don't you do that in your
Because it's the
stand-up?
truth.
And I was like...
And you don't have to think about it either.
People can relate to it too.
Yeah.
People can relate to
And
it.
now I do them. And even I try to do it in a way where if you do not have kids, you will still laugh.
It's to be familiar
and
to
you'll be
you.
grateful.
Yes.
Do you know
Everybody
what I mean?
who everybody knows people with
kids,
Yeah.
exactly. You have nieces
Yeah.
and nephews or your friends,
Yes, yeah.
babies. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody has kids.
Yeah.
You were once a
A child,
child.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
there's like, I think,
I still am a child.
and that's you. But that's you being your most. I think brilliant comedy is authentic.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily need to be 100%. Doesn't need to be 100% biographical.
No.
But do you know what I mean? I would say a good
good
chunks
bit of
of
it.
truth,
Yeah.
authentic and specific.
But do you think if Bronagh walked out onto that stage and she started talking about wanking, the whole crowd would have went,
The word,
Oh, why?
because women don't wank.
oh, that's...
But I remember getting not a falling out with all my friends, but I remember getting into a thing was a bit like I was saying, but like women like sex.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, like my friends who are women enjoy sex. So maybe it's just because I live in this bubble where like we're very open with one another and we're very kind of like. But and he was like, yeah, but guys and like young girls aren't like wanking like young boys do. And I'm like, no. They do. They're just not allowed to talk
But
about
you
it
know,
because they're made to feel dirty.
Yeah.
I was talking to Kurt about this. It's one of those things I would love to change, and I hope is changing in our younger generation. My ankle just cracked there.
Oh.
No, it's fine.
I thought it was you hitting the table. Actually, it's your whole bone.
There it is over there.
Bits of me laying all about the place. It's Halloween.
Take them
But
home with you.
I genuinely really hope that young girls, like especially growing up in Ireland, where I still think it's only until like I met Kurt or I went to England, and I've always been the least prude out of my family.
Really?
And really, I suppose, yeah. But I've always come in and spoke to my ma about stuff, and
Yeah.
I think it's my
Which
kind
is-
of
but that's-
loving saying the most shocking thing as well. Do it to my daddy all the time, and he's like, and he wants to laugh. But we have this thing, over here where like you wouldn't have even. I remember watching an episode of Big Brother, and I don't know if it was Gemma Collins or something, so it wasn't long ago, and she was like, I've got my period, I'm not in the mood. And I was like, is there any need for her to carry on like that? Like, but it bugs me because I'm like, for a start, what the fuck? But also women weaponising that and making it out like it's our weakness. And I'm like,
Yes.
it's not.
It's not as a strength. Like.
I can bleed for 5 days and not die. I'm a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
Catch
But
yourself.
But the
Yeah.
flips,
But I hope that girls nowadays talk about wanking. Because see, whenever I was growing up, you'd see wee lads standing out in the street, hands down. the
hands
chest
on
and
the
all.
fucking lad
And
thinking
they
it's
would
going
be
to jump out
talking
and run
about
away.
like, oh, I had a blah blah blah, and we all used to laugh like as if it was normal. But not one of us girls would have turned around and admitted that we did that,
Yeah.
and every one of us would have felt like a fucking I'm weird. I'm the only
But
person
I
who
think
does
it
this.
all relates back to the school sex education.
Or lack thereof.
Did you get what did you call her? Wee Margaret. Did you get that? We got a
The
video,
video of the woman.
of the wee woman. She would go, when a man and a woman get married.
She's sitting on like a wee.
And she looks like Margaret Thatcher.
She looks like
Yes,
oh,
I've
she
seen
looks
the
like.
video.
She did the
does what-
I
demonstration.
thought she looked like.
We actually got her for our sex. That was our sex.
I
day.
thought she looked like
In
Mary
the
Robinson.
noughties.
I stayed with the wee curly tight hair.
The wee curly tight hair, the wee
And then
curly
the one on her
set.
head.
The one.
Very good. Do you
Margaret, what's your muff
know, they
away?
were saying that the Golden Girls were the same age as Sex and the City girls?
Yes, they were
Yes.
40, but they were made out to be these older
Old dolls.
women. But there was something came out there only recently that they made their hair and all like that but they were made, act as older
Because
people.
what was her Sophia's name in real life? What was her name? Like Sophia was the youngest. And Rose,
What age was she? 7?
she was like I was 13. She was good, but like she was in the cast. So the woman who played the owl doll, she was the youngest actress out of the four of them. And Rose, Betty White, was the oldest. She was one
And
that
she
died.
played the youngest.
And she played the youngest, and she was one died last in real life. She was the
Wow.
last one.
See, you're only as young as your man, you feel.
But then you look at Greece, and they were all in a
ridiculous.
school. And
Grace or Beverly Hills 90210 or even Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you're looking
Yeah.
back on it now and you're going,
Why are these grown-ass adults
Well,
talking
yeah.
about
well,
like,
these like
dates and
literal
kisses?
30-year-olds like going about like in a cheerleader's outfit.
was it was High School Musical?
And Camp Rock.
Yeah, hey, Camp Rock.
Camp Rock. Like they were literally.
She's really good.
Is this I've missed this.
Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers, and she goes to Camp. She gets a prestigious place at Camp Rock because her mommy's the cleaner,
The cook.
the cook.
Yes, sorry,
And
Camp Rock expert.
Camp Rock expert. So, but it's all
I
like
need to
it's
watch
like
this.
a performing. It's like High School Musical, but at a performing arts.
Yeah, like a camp.
It's kind of like the spiritual.
I'm
sequel.
getting that it's camp. Yeah.
Hugely
It's
giving.
giving ate and left no crumbs. But it was like it's awful if you like. There's bits of it like there's a girl and she's a tech music kind of like
Yes,
composer,
yeah.
and she's like.
It's like Ross Geller and Friends when he's doing his keyboard thing.
I'm just going to work on my music over the summer.
No, you need to watch it because it's actually
hilarious.
It's one of those like
I am
ones
gonna
where
watch
like it is really bad, and she comes in, she's real, and then he's like, do the bit where they go, could you show, where are you dancing? You'd have to do it like this, and so like just Joe Jonas.
Hold on, I'm
like,
actually
starts to
writing this in so I can watch it.
Just even watch them
Great
funny
movie.
scenes.
Just even watch those funny scenes.
Because there's so many just like
Oh, no, I want the
quotable
whole thing.
scenes from it.
I
It's
want
brilliant.
There's boring bits of plot
Yeah.
in the
yeah.
middle of
You
the
have to
funny
get through the
scenes.
plot.
You
Yeah.
have to get through the plot, which is basically like, what's this is me.
This is me.
This is
Exactly. Like they're all like working towards this whole like
I sang up
show.
so tunelessly because I can't remember the tune. I can't remember the tune.
Great soundtrack.
Great. Is it good soundtrack?
Great
I have to say the
soundtrack.
soundtrack to Camp Rock's better than the
100%.
soundtrack to the High
Who's
School Musical.
determined?
How dare you, David?
How
Dare you, other
How
than
dare you?
Termagant and Camp Rock would be Jamie Liv.
No, it'd be that bitch with the blonde hair. The bitches are always with blonde hairs in movies.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but
Flip.
she was the bitch.
Grace. Rizzo's dark haired.
Oh, Rizzo was there.
But Rizzo was like my favourite.
Who did you want to be?
Rizzo.
Who did you want to be?
Rizzo.
Yeah,
I want to
Rizzo.
be Rizzo.
Rizzo. All day long.
I want to be
Hickey
the
from
knocked up.
Kinnicky is it's like a middle.
Bite the weenie, Raz. Was it bite the weenie with relish?
I maybe that's where it all. My ma should have known I was never going to grow up the right way.
To be a Sandy.
I wanted to be Rizzo.
Rizzo.
No, there
I
want to be
always
a
thought she
Sandy.
was gorgeous too. Like that, because
Rizzo,
she was
yes.
always
Stockard Channing. But Stockard Channing was literally 35.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I
Fair
mean?
play to her. I reckon I could play 17.
I think
Good enough bow
I
tie.
think I have
Not
said
at all.
this. I have said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'm about to. Like so, Sense and Sensibility. One of my favorite films is Sense and Sensibility, the Emma Thompson version of it. But in the book, Eleanor Dashwood is 18 or 19 years old.
That's right, how old is Emma Thompson?
Emma Thompson's like 38 in
Fair
real life,
play.
and I am snaps to Emma Thompson because she had the fucking ovaries to get that script, write it herself as Eleanor Dashwood with Kate Winslet as her younger sister.
But you know
love
what?
it.
It's really refreshing to see that in terms of a female, because usually in Hollywood, the role of the man, a 30-year-old man, is played by a 45-year-old man, and the role of the 28-year-old woman is played by an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
So our ideas of what aesthetic age looks like are really fucking skewed. Like, it's okay for a man to grow up and look like a fucking wizard. Do you know what I mean? To grow the fucking hair and the beard and all the rest of it.
Ever see, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films?
Oh yeah,
That's like one of the worst examples of it, where they're all meant to be in like high school,
yeah.
and they're all in their mid-30s.
Is this Tobey Maguire?
The Tobey Maguire one.
Oh,
or the-
yes,
or-
actually agreed.
And their teacher on like the wee field trip they go on looks younger than
Than
the
the rest
students.
of them.
But you
Yeah.
think Aunt May throughout the 3 different iterations.
Oh, but
gets
Aunt May keeps
slightly
getting younger.
Oh, now Aunt May's a cool aunt.
So Aunt May is like a wee white-haired woman in the Tobey Maguire
Yeah.
ones. Then it's Sally Field in the Andrew Garfield one, and then it's like Marissa Tomei. Is it? No,
Yeah.
is it Marissa Tomei
even
in
know
the Tom
Tom Holland
ones?
ones.
Which is like, Do you know what I mean?
Basically the
Because
same age as me.
I am probably the same age as I am the age of an Aunt May. Do you know what I mean? Because I will be 44 on Saturday, and it's like that's
I think that's going to be a really great year for you because 4 and 4. It's going to be lucky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Four's my lucky number.
I love my 40s. I love
Do you?
my 40s.
Yes.
I do.
Do you
I
feel
love them.
like more settled? I love my 30s.
I didn't like my 30s because my 30s is when my mental health decided to go, hi. Hey there.
expecting it.
Hi there. We've been roommates for a long time, but we have never really spoken. So I'm going to take over your life now. So to all that
Still time, like.
all that confidence that you... No, I hope it never
No, I
happens
had
to me,
that
but-
all through my 10s, teens, 20s, and then I finally got to my 30s and realised, I've not drank in my 30s.
Fair.
So I got sober when I was 29, and I think that's where everything started to fall into
Yeah.
place. And I was like, oh God, right, so that was a depressant that I was imbibing and
I was
treating
numbing
like
myself.
a relaxant.
Yeah.
And I was just completely fucking wrecking my life.
Yeah.
And now in my 30s, I think as well, not drinking has given me like the confidence in myself to go, I'm actually not that bad a person.
Yeah.
You know the way you always woke up thinking you were you'd killed a fucking village full of little tiny
Orphans.
African
The morning
orphans.
after, like, yeah.
And all you'd done is sit in your kitchen and call someone a cunt on Facebook. But I think
See, I'm
even
too old for that though. We just
there's
called
a
you a cunt to your
clarity
face.
in and I'm like that more now that I'm sober.
Yeah.
Because there's a clarity of mind that comes with sobriety that's really like, I don't give any shit, so I'm not taking any.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, whenever I was like drinking, I wouldn't have even pointed out people's peccadillos because of the fact that I'd have been like, I don't want anybody looking too closely at the fact that I drink too much or that I do this. For you to say
Stop
nothing.
pointing out the splinter
Whereas
in
my
somebody
sisters
else's
will
eye
say,
when there's
"Nah,
the plank in your
in
own.
your,
Yes.
Jesus, quote gospel and everything.
Thanks a bit of Jesus.
But-
Jesse.
My sisters would say our Bronagh like wouldn't let you away, but it's not so much that, it's that I'm not afraid to go, no, that's bad crack.
Yeah,
Do you know
it's
what I
not
mean?
on.
It's
That's not on.
It's your
When
own,
you're-
your more thing and your own boundaries, and I think that that's like
I actually have boundaries now.
whenever I
We all need
like
them.
whenever I was kind of chatting with my friend, and I felt really bad about, we kind of had a wee bit of a disagreement, and I felt bad because really that argument wouldn't have happened if I had been less clear about what my boundaries were. If I had let that slide, but then I felt like, well, why should I let this slide? Because I feel strongly about this. I need this person to know.
Yeah, you need to get your point across.
You need to get your point across, and if I had just let this happen, then I would have been guilty of.
And in terms of politics and things, it's very easy to do to not be in in an abrasive situation. The most that this has happened to me is like taxi drivers, right? The fonts of all knowledge.
Oh, wow.
But taxi drivers don't realise the power that they hold because they're talking to people every day, and if they're passing something off with a really like
Authoritative
strong
air.
opinion,
Terrible.
authoritative air, then it's gospel, and then that multiplies and multiplies and multiplies.
Yeah.
And a great example of it was whenever I was talking to a taxi driver, and he was saying, but they are getting this, and asylum seekers are getting these houses, and I just rationally we sat there and had a conversation, and I was talking about the data that I had to read, and yeah. And
Actual facts, not
actual
like some
facts.
guy called Jackie who got in the back of your taxi and told you this.
But it was
No.
lovely. It was a lovely experience because he actually looked at me and went, I didn't know that, love. Do you
I
know
love
what?
that.
I didn't
Educating
know that
someone.
when
Then he
people-
obviously had the self-awareness to be able to go. So we were talking about before, but being able to say, I was wrong. It's like, if I am wrong, I will put my hands up and I will say I am wrong. And I think it's really
Nice
important
spank
as a
me.
person. I've been naughty, daddy.
Yeah.
But
Tell me I'm a good girl.
don't talk with your mouth full.
Like definitely, like, being open to be educated. It's like,
Absolutely.
I didn't realise my whole opinion on that was completely wrong. Thank you. Like,
And there's
for,
nothing
you
sexier
know.
than that as
Yeah, I
well.
love that.
Once you
In
think
somebody
you know
that's
it all,
cold.
you're old.
Like, I'm so happy to turn around. Like, obviously, it's embarrassing to realise that you've been ignorant about something or
Yeah.
you've stated something wrong.
Yes.
But I am completely comfortable in going, oh my God, I didn't realise that. Or, oh, fuck. I always go, well, fuck me then. I didn't realise. Oh, God, I'm so, I didn't know.
I was
Thanks,
like-
every day is the school day.
Exactly.
I was unaware, totally aware of that. Thanks for letting me.
But
Thanks
also,
Yeah.
on the side note, if someone does
Flip
that
side.
to you and goes, like, say you're going, no, actually, and then someone could be doing that to you and they are feeding you bullshit.
Aye.
You have to go, do your own research. But, like, you know,
If you also because I think this is the
Collective
thing.
opinions.
Once if you know you're right about something, I do. I know that I do kind of like fall into a bit of a people pleaser thing because like I want the least amount of friction.
Yeah.
Do you know? Because I don't really like conflict. I don't really like.
That's why you
I
use
don't like
lube.
confrontation. I don't.
As he peels a banana over there.
A water-based lube. Water-based. Just very important. But the like I don't like, and I think that whole confrontation just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But as you say, like being comfortable with your boundaries and going, this is the line in the sand that I have to kind of draw, and it's like this is the thing where I need you to know that this is.
We have a good, me and Aoife and I have, as a result of her cousin saying it, and we all joked openly about this together. Her cousin would do this thing where she would go, I just have something I need to get off my chest, right? And then she would like bring something up that annoyed her. And we were like, this is actually really fucking healthy, right?
Yeah.
So now, like, because we're pocketers and I'll go home and ruminate on something, it kind of has become a joke now where it's like,
Oh, is that what a pocketer? Is like you just put that in your pocket and think about it later?
and think about it later, yeah.
Oh.
So I'll pocket it and then I'll just
know
ruminate on it and I'll think about it. I'll be in the shower having the best argument
Oh,
I've
wow.
ever had.
With yourself.
Oh, yeah. I've won every argument I've ever had in the shower.
That's really good for you. And especially, I read a thing what's really good for you. Now, obviously, in moderation, rehash old arguments that you've had with people that you've walked out of feeling really bad. So when you rechange the argument in your brain and your imagination, it helps to realign the way you feel inside.
I just imagine you going, here, know what I think we should do tonight? Remember a thing we like fought extensively about 2 weeks ago? Do you want to fight about that again?
Let's do it again.
Shower.
In your mind, not with the person. Like, don't like go and find somebody you haven't spoken to in 20 years and go, here, by the way, I'm not fucking done with you.
There's a 20-year delay. And it's like, here, and another thing.
Hold on a wee second. Yous are laughing.
Just open the
but
door
I've
and you're like,
actually
there.
done that.
Aye. You're not laughing. You're laughing the outside of your fucking face.
To me, the last time I seen you, you said you fucking agreed with Tony Blair's policy about getting into Iraq. Fuck away off.
How's that gone for you? How's history fucking gone for you that way?
Yeah, but we're going to talk about sex in our
gonna
Patreon
talk
show.
about sex, baby. We're gonna talk about you and me and us. We're gonna talk about all the good things and the bad things.
That may be. Let's talk about sex. Woo! So, join us on the Patreon for a juicy